You're in Cornwall, you're at the Surf Festival with the Stereo MCs, and you're listening and watching Hit the Floor. Peace 2011.
And now that I'm a man, my tools are in the van. I wanna see the game on Sunday, so maybe check a friend. Don't think about regrets, although I had a few. Falling in, falling out, dreams have fallen through. See, we gotta get along when the nights are so long. I think about the days that are gone when I was young, when I wasn't born.
Hello, I'm with the legend Rob from the Stereo MCs. Very, very excited to be here today. And how are you to be here today at Boardmasters?
I'm fine, thanks. It's great to be here. Looking forward to playing. You just caught me in mid sort of getting up, getting myself ready sort of mode. Yeah. So I'm sort of just crawled out of
You look good, nice and chilled.
Crawled out of the bunk, you know, sort of that vibe. But yeah.
You're excited though?
Yeah, definitely. Always. I always get like, you know.
Yeah, still get the adrenaline there.
Yeah, it doesn't change, you know.
Oh, that's amazing. That's what I was going to ask you as well. Do you wake up sometimes with all the things that you've done, you know, you've remixed and produced music for worldwide legends as well as yourselves? Do you wake up and you have to pinch yourself sometimes still? Like,
I just don't think about it like that. I mean, when people say legend, I just think I'm just a guy from Nottingham, you know.
Yeah.
I know what I am, and you got to remember who you are, you know. We're all just people, and
yeah.
I think you can have really talented people that never do anything because what they lack is the determination and the conviction to really work hard at it.
Yeah.
And then you can have people that you kind of think, that guy can't sing or nothing, but they get somewhere because they love what they're doing, nothing can stop them. And it's great to hear someone doing something when they love it, you know, and that's all I think it is. It's about love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you remember that, and remember that you got to love your music, and wake up in the morning and want to turn on your gear and listen to what you're doing, you can't ask for much more than that.
Of course,
you know?
Of course, yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, bear with me. Might have to edit this a little bit.
Enough beads. You got so many beads.
I know, I love beads. I like your beads too, they're really cool.
Yeah, I like beads too, man.
Yeah, nice and chilled, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the way, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Do we get to hear these classics tonight then?
Oh yeah, we play all our songs.
Yeah.
Well, as many as we can do. We've only got 45 minutes tonight.
Okay.
But obviously we want to play some new material.
Yes,
so we'll be
exciting.
playing new material and then tunes from most of our albums. You know, obviously some tunes from Connected, Supernatural. It might be one from our first album. You know, we'll be playing a whole 360 degrees.
So do you find that your new material has evolved as electronic and all the music genres have evolved?
Yeah,
Do you enjoy the new music sounds like dubstep and things like that?
Yeah.
About that?
I think it's wicked. I love the new music, and you got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, you got to know what's happening. Otherwise, what you're doing isn't really relevant. You know, you can't stay stuck in the mud. So I do check out new music, and right now, I'm really into what they hammer out on Rinse in London.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I just turn on that radio and I'm always going, is he going to give me a playlist, man? Because there's so many nice tunes on there, and my favourite show is Scratcher's Grimy Breakfast.
Oh wow!
Because he plays he plays all sorts of songs, you know, all sorts of songs. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So from that, is there anyone now in the new music scene that you'd love to collaborate with that you really respect for what they're producing now? If you could choose.
I'd like to do a tune with Scream and Damian Marley.
Wow.
I think that would be a nice
choice. I like that as well.
You know, I love Damian Marley.
Yeah.
I love his lyrics.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that album he did, why hasn't he come back and done another album like, some of that?
Yeah, definitely, I agree. God, that would be incredible.
Yeah, I'd love it. I think that. So Scream is like doing some nice music. I mean, that record Scream did last year, was it Out the Box?
Yeah.
His own solo album. I just thought that was a really good album.
Yeah.
And for seeing as he comes from that dubstep mob, I thought he had a really good musicality, to what he did. It was really musical as well as really heavy, but the tunes was like. Music got to me, music did. Whereas some of the time that stuff is like people have got the technicals right, but there's no music to get into my soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so do you think it's good then that obviously, luckily, as electronic music's evolved and all these new genres, which is exciting to have come out of it, luckily there's been some good talents that have come out of it as well as the bad.
Definitely, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, music's always going to be like that. There's always going to be some people who roll along with the times and the fashion. And
at a point, there was people saying that we're stuck in an era, we don't know what we are anymore, so we're going back to the 90s and 80s. But I think we've taken from legends like yourself from that, and we've blended it, and now we have got new genres as well. So
how can people say that the music being made now isn't?
I know.
It's just changing every day, man.
Bother listening, those people.
I think so. Yeah, it's a bit like when hip hop started out.
Something that bands and things that we shouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean, people used to say, "Oh, hip hop, rap music, it will die soon," and it was like, look at how ridiculous a comment that was,
You broke the US R&B charts, didn't you? With Elevate My Mind.
I guess we was.
You were the first UK group, weren't you?
I think so, possibly, yeah, something like that,
Something back then, yeah.
We were lucky that, it was lucky that record did well, because it meant Island Records would say, we'll fund another LP, which was connected, so it was very fortunate for us that happened.
Yeah, so you had your own studio and all that, so
yeah.
it's amazing. I've got something to ask you as well from a fan. You toured with the Happy Mondays.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the US at the height of the indie scene.
And England, yeah.
Back in then, setting stone era basically. Can you remember any of it? Was it mental?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
It was great.
And what were the Happy Mondays like? Did they get to score in the US? Or?
They were top people, man. Happy Mondays were top people, really. We toured with a lot of groups in those days, supporting a lot of bands. And some bands really aren't very nice to you when you're supporting them, especially when you're going down well with their crowd.
Yeah.
They'll stitch you up and sabotage your sound checks and all of that.
God.
But Happy Mondays made sure we had a nice loud sound. They had respect for us.
Yeah.
So I always big up Happy Mondays. And although when we first went out with them, I was very much into the rap music, and I was like, I don't really like Happy Mondays, But once I started listening to them, and I felt their groove, I thought, I like the way they come over actually. And
some great memories with Happy Mondays.
yeah, really good, really good. I never come out and say nothing sordid about them, because that's what everybody wants to hear, but I ain't doing it.
And lots of party times as well.
To be honest, it was so hectic.
Really?
Yeah, that we never really hung out to that degree. Although we got on really well with them.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're jetting here, you're jetting there, then you've got your own tour happening here, and this, that and the other. So you're busy.
So busy, yeah.
And you've got to watch it all, that partying. You burn out.
Yeah.
You burn out, and if you've got a lot of gigs, you got to maintain your health and fitness.
Dedicated to yourselves and the fans, really. So.
Well, you want to go out there and play, it's like,
it's your thing, so.
all that partying's all right, but it'll just send you home at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Right, well, I think we will say thank you very much there. There's so much more I want to ask you. Actually, I'm going to ask you what's been one, because there's been so many, but what's been one of your favourite gigs that you've ever played? What stood out for you? And is there a bad one as well?
Should I do the bad first? I'll do the bad first,
yeah. Then we'll have the nice calm.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Probably the worst one we did was in Holland when we supported Living Colour, and the industry take on it was, Living Colour, they'll have a really open-minded rock audience, but it was just not the case.
Really?
And for them to see a group that didn't have guitars and just turntables and a microphone,
Yeah.
they weren't having it. And they glassed us, shouted us, just dissed us to the max. But I don't regret it, because that really, if you can deal with an audience like that, it really makes you strong.
Makes
You
you
know,
determined.
if you can deal with the bad audiences, then when you get a good one, it's just like, it's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's a good one.
You need to know all the dimensions of
That's
live
it.
performance. You know,
That's it.
and I've seen most of them. I've seen quite a lot of them. And I'd say one of the best ones is playing at Glastonbury in Glastonbury, yeah, but Barrowlands in Glasgow is one of my favourite venues ever. It's just wicked.
Why is that?
It's got a wooden dance floor, and when we played our set, all you could hear was people stamping on the floor,
Oh, wow.
and it was just it was like primal. It was fucking primal,
And
man.
it's the bass and the atmosphere.
It was like Vikings coming over the coastline, you know. It was one of them primal feelings. Just, and I just felt like I'd gone back to being a caveman, and it was just like, it was unreal.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I could actually chat to you forever because it's very interesting and
Well,
you're an absolute legend.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And thank you for, speaking to Hit the Floor. So we look forward to hearing you tonight. Really
Great.
excited about that. I remember Connected and Stand Up from being really little in the 90s, so I
Yeah.
remember all your classics as well. And I look forward to hearing new materials too.
Great. Nice.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Nice.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Nice one. You too. Yeah. Bye.